First, fast, and accurate. News Channel 25, WVTT.
We're seeing some snowfall here in Olean right now. Today's high was about 37 degrees. And tonight we're going to see a high of only about 15 degrees and still some snow overnight tonight. We will see some accumulation as it heads into tomorrow, where we are going to see some more snow. The high for tomorrow only about 22 degrees. It's going to be a chilly one for us. And this weekend it looks like it's just going to keep getting colder with that snow accumulations. I'll have more later on in Twin Tiers Evening News.
Global news update on WVTT.
The Triumph is on the move. Just hours after it was pulled into Mobile Bay, the incapacitated cruise ship headed for repairs today. Those thousands of passengers who finally reached dry land are all headed home more than a week after an engine fire turned their vacation into a nightmare. Renee Marsh is following it all from Mobile, Alabama.
The first buses carrying Triumph passengers arrived back in Galveston, Texas Friday, more than a week after the cruise ship departed on its ill-fated tour. Many are returning home with pictures they never imagined capturing. Camping on the decks, sleeping on the floor, toilets that didn't flush, trash piling up. These are the vacation memories Triumph passengers are trying to forget.
We were just out there, and like I said, now that I realize it, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
While passengers try to move on from the nightmare, the Triumph is moving on to a nearby boatyard for repairs, marking the end of its disastrous voyage. Passengers cheered and waved Thursday night as the disabled boat limped into the port of Mobile. Others hung signs like this one reading, "Sweet Home, Alabama." Celebration after days of unsanitary conditions and power outages. Before passengers disembarked, the CEO of Carnival offered this apology.
We pride ourselves in providing our guests with a great vacation experience, and clearly we failed.
As more than 3,000 passengers made their way off the ship, some vented their frustration.
There are a lot of unhappy people on this ship, a lot of unhappy people because of the conditions.
Others are just relieved the ordeal is over.
After being on that boat for that long and not knowing when or how we were getting back, it was just so good to finally be back.
Well, as those passengers continue to head home on those chartered flights, the investigation into what caused that fire on board continues. Reporting in Mobile, Alabama, I'm Renee Marsh.
Authorities placed an Idaho middle school on lockdown Thursday because of a mysterious device spotted on campus. Reporter Karen Zatkulak explains that for 2 hours, parents and students were terrified following reports of an armed suspect inside their school.
Dozens of officers with guns drawn, surrounding and even running toward Heritage Middle this morning.
They announced that it was lockdown, so everybody moved to the side, and the police came in like 30 minutes later, checking every room.
A scene that immediately takes many parents back to the Connecticut shooting 2 months ago.
Shocked, like I couldn't believe it could happen here, but I'm almost speechless, like a lot of the other parents that are here.
Fear. I mean, this could be anywhere in America, and these are our kids, so yeah, we're all just scared.
The panic was clear on many parents' faces as they waited and worried for 2 hours. Then the news everyone had hoped for. Everyone was safe. It was a false alarm. Some parents ran to school wanting to see their kids as soon as possible. They filed into the packed school gym where hundreds of parents were reunited with their kids. Everyone we talked to say the police handled the case correctly.
It's scary, but I'm glad they're taking cautions and keeping our kids safe.
I feel good with what they did. Our kids are safe, and thank God that it was just a project, and I think they did everything that they should have. So
some of the things that are going on in the world, in our country right now, the hypersensitivity, I'd rather them err on that side than having something tragic take place.
Police also agree that if there's a threat against students, this is the right response.
Absolutely the right thing to do. If we feel like or we get a report that these students are in danger and that there's a weapon on campus, we are absolutely going to respond this way every single time, and we would expect that response.
A sanitation employee in Muncie, Indiana is now the proud owner of a little puppy. Maricela Burgos reports he found the pup tossed in the garbage.
I'm glad I found him.
Michael Upchurch has a heartwarming story to tell about how he met his puppy.
I was calling him Blue Bag, but then my wife was like, no, that's no good. So she named him Garby.
Garby because his first owner had thrown him in the garbage thinking he had died of parvo.
The dog did not have parvo, it was just simply starving. Its blood sugar was so low that it had caused it to maybe pass out, and maybe she had the idea that the dog had passed because it wasn't moving.
Michael found Garby by chance as he was picking up trash on Main Street.
Once I took it up here and I dumped it in the truck, right here is when it's just a terrible sound of a puppy. I can't even explain it.
He heard whimpering and thought it was his coworker.
The old doggy here hollering, save me, I guess, in dog talk.
Out of the corner of his eye, Michael noticed something moving inside a blue trash bag just like this one, and that's why he ripped it open.
And he was just laying there on his side. I mean, his legs and arms was just completely frozen. He was frozen stiff.
Michael did everything to keep Garby warm.
Turned on the heat right here, the heater full blast, and then shook up from this. Now every bag I dump, I'm like, oh no, what's in that one?
Phil Peckinpah with the Muncie Animal Shelter says Garby's former owner told him she got rid of 2 other puppies that same day because of the same reason.
It's absolutely horrible to think that, maybe the others weren't this lucky and maybe they were alive.
Me and Garby.
Michael can't believe Garby is doing this well a day after he found him.
I kind of hope maybe that this kind of maybe will make people think once, second before they do this.
Let's take a look now at the WVTT Wall Street Wrap-Up. It's brought to you by News Radio 96.7 WVTT. The Dow closed up about 8 points to close at 13,982. The Nasdaq down about 7 points to close at 3192, and the S&P up about 2 points to close at 1520. Much more to come. This is Twin Tiers Evening News.